And that's not to put any pressure on you or anything like that. It's just to let you know that the way you move and the way you carry yourself, I could already tell you're gonna be one of those guys that has a lot of guys looking up to him. So if you could speak to maybe some young guys that were going through some of the same things that you were going through when you were 16, 17, getting into martial arts, what advice would you give to them? What would you have told what advice do you wish you had gotten as that younger self, that younger guy in their situation?
That's a good question.
Welcome to the Warrior's Way Home podcast.
So you're competing in Kudo and MMA. How often are you going to kind of do both? And for those who don't know, what is your perspective on the difference between the two?
I think the difference between the two is mainly the Budo aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And because Kudo really emphasizes being humble and respecting your opponents and having humility and having honor and respect. Whereas MMA, a lot of it is just selling tickets, right? And so it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are if you're selling tickets. And so that's why I kind of fell in love with Kudo, because it really aligns with what kind of person I want to be inside and out the ring. And so I'll always bring that into the cage whenever I fight in mixed martial arts, no matter what. So,
yeah, that's definitely I see that difference, because especially in the early days of UFC, and I'm more thinking about when I was watching it heavy with like Anderson Silva and Lyoto Machida and Brock Lesnar when he started rolling in there. But some of the, you could see the range of different guys that where you could be a lot more cocky, like Conor McGregor, and you're throwing chairs at buses and stuff, and just like whatever puts butts in seats. But then you have the guys like Anderson Silva who could be a little showy, but they would still show respect to their opponent, no matter if they were champion or not. And then I like Lyoto Machida, who like he bows to everybody. It's never about the showboating. It's always about the work, that he does. When you picture yourself in the ring or like UFC or like the big, like professionally, what do you see yourself? Like, how do you see yourself in that moment?
So I think there's a lot of things to consider. Like what kind of character are you portraying to sell tickets? There's the good guys and there's the bad guys, and then they kind of have like the miscellaneous, like the goofy guys or all that
WWE
stuff.
Yeah.
and
the heels and the villains and all that good stuff.
That's how
we need
it
to get you a
is,
mask.
though.
We need to get you a Lucha Libre mask when you come out next time for your next fight.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd do that. But yeah, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, he was asking, what kind of
professional
do you want to put out, when you're coming out with your career?
Yeah. I've always been more on the goofy side, like branching off from that, because like when me and Ed are sparring, I don't stop talking. I do not stop talking, and I love it. And it's never anything mean, but I just love talking. I love messing with people and getting in people's heads, and I never take anything seriously. Like you see the video of me right before I walk in, I'm sitting there smiling and talking to my trainers and whatever, because it's just that's just who I am as a person. I've always been that goofy guy, inside and out the ring. But
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Hey man, I'm gonna be honest. It's like I'm pleasantly surprised. I hadn't checked out a lot of your stuff, and I was wondering. I was like, okay, is young guy also fighting? He's had quite a bit of success in his fighting so far. It's like, is he gonna be cocky? How's me and you haven't had, I just met you today, at the gym. So it's like, okay, how's this guy gonna be? He's gonna be like, I was wondering, is he gonna be a Conor McGregor? Or is he gonna be this type of dude? It's like, how's this gonna go? What kind of guy am I about to meet here? It's like, but dude, it's like, to be honest, man, you are very, especially for your age, you're extremely level-headed, bro. And I'm gonna tell you this ahead of time, just so if you're not aware of it already, you are gonna have a lot of young guys looking up to you. I could tell that already. If you don't already have that, you need to prepare yourself because you are going to have that. And that's not to put any pressure on you or anything like that. It's just to let you know that the way you move and the way you carry yourself, I could already tell you're going to be one of those guys that has a lot of guys looking up to them. So if you could speak to maybe some young guys that were going through some of the same things that you were going through when you were, 16, 17, getting into martial arts, what advice would you give to them? What would you have told what advice do you wish you had gotten as that younger self, that younger guy in their situation?
That's a good question.
Take your time.
I think that, I already have lots of younger kids who already look up to me in this gym that I train at. And I do my best to show them who they can be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so what I would say to them, or anyone else trying to get into fighting or struggling with anything I was struggling with, find an outlet. But you can't rely on that outlet either, if that makes sense. Because
can't be the end all be all.
Every time I get angry or every time I get upset, I go into the gym and I take it out on, some people. What happens when I go back home, right? I think that it's good to find an outlet, but also, find some way to talk about it or figure out ways to be healthier, whether it's in your mindset or you're going to the gym more or you're eating better. Even the little things, making your bed in the morning.
Yep.
And it's hard. None of that's easy. It's hard. It's so hard. But I just think take those little steps, and those little steps will take you farther than any big leap you feel like you have to take.
Definitely.
I feel like a lot of. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, man, because with this month being Men's Mental Health Month and everything like that, we tend to talk a lot about that, how martial arts has helped us along our journey with our mental health, or for me dealing with depression and suicidal tendencies and different things like that, and how I fully admit martial arts has saved my life, has kept me out of jail and from the grave. This is 100%. But like you said, man, it's one of those things. If you can't have this be the end all be all for you, because you end up doing the same thing as if people who get addicted to like alcohol, or people who get addicted to drugs. You can get addicted to going to the gym. You can get addicted to martial arts and fighting and doing these different things like that. But what happens if you can't do that anymore? It's like, you have those athletes who their whole life, their whole being is being in the NFL or being in the NBA. And then for whatever reasons, either they mess it up or something else happens or life just happens and that stops. And you see their life turn into chaos because that's all they had. Is like, so you got to, like you said, you got to be able to, have this healthy thing, this healthy outlet, but also transition that into working on yourself. Don't just use it as like an addiction or a substitute for, the thing that you're running from. Don't run from something, run to something. Don't run from your problems and go to the gym thinking that's going to fix it. Because when you get home, like you said, they're still going to be there waiting on you. They're not going anywhere. So yeah, man, I definitely fully agree with what you just said. So appreciate that.
Yeah.